The hardest person you'll ever have to face, it isn't your ex, it isn't your parents, it isn't the person that hurt you. It's you. And until you're ready to sit with yourself honestly, nothing in your life is really going to change. What's up, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Her Clarity Space. I'm your girl, Jess, and you have officially entered into a safe space. If this is your first time here, welcome, and go ahead and get comfortable because we are about to have some good conversations. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I'm not a therapist, I'm not a coach, but I do facilitate conversations for us to be able to be real with ourselves and make real changes, which is why today we're going to talk about something so very important. Being able to face ourselves, because we can outrun everybody on this earth, but we cannot outrun ourselves. So based on what I know, there are usually 3 reasons why people tend to lie to themselves. Either you're trying to protect someone else, you're trying to protect yourself, or you're trying to protect an image. So let's talk a little bit about protecting someone else. Sometimes you will lie to yourself and you will tell yourself that you are happy in certain situations, that you are happy in these relationships because you don't want to hurt the other person. What's going to happen if I leave? What's going to happen with my kids if I walk away? I don't want my children to come from a broken home. I don't want me and their father to be living in 2 separate households. I don't want the person that I love to go off and create a new life with someone else. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to hurt them. So I'll sit here and I'll tell myself that I'm okay with how things are going. I'll sit here and I'll tell myself that one day the relationship may get better. I'll sit here and I'll tell myself that I'm just going through a phase and that it will all be over soon. I will sit here and I will allow myself to protect the people that I love. But in actuality, you're hurting the people that you love. Because when a person really loves you, when your kids are really loving on you and they're old enough to understand, they can tell that you're unhappy. They can tell when the energy changes when you and their father are in the same room together. They can tell that you guys don't talk as much as you used to. They can tell that we don't sit down and eat dinner together anymore. They can tell that dad's working extra hours all of a sudden and we hardly ever see him until it's bedtime. They can sense all of these things. And also your partner can sense those things too. Do not stay in relationships for other people. Do not stay in friendships for other people. Do not stay connected to family members for the benefit of other people. Nobody benefits when you are miserable. Nobody benefits when you are unhappy. Nobody benefits when you are sacrificing yourself for something that shouldn't even be. Because if it's really that complicating, I'm willing to bet my last dollar that that's not a situation that you should be in. I'm pretty sure your partner will appreciate the fact that you're coming to them as a woman and saying, listen, I'm not happy. And you being honest in that moment doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end. Sometimes it's a situation that can be fixed. Sometimes it's a situation that maybe it just does need that dialogue. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be put out there. But I want to address this part because a lot of us do this in relationships. And it's not just when it's down to the relationship coming to an end. But sometimes we stay quiet to keep the peace. And that's not the route you want to take, because all of those little moments will start to build up into bigger moments and they will create a snowball of issues. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. I've created quite a few snowballs in my life because I wouldn't say things. I wouldn't speak up about things that bothered me. I would pretend like I was okay with certain things because I didn't want to disrupt the relationship. I didn't want to cause any issues. I didn't want to have any arguments. But if you really love a person, you have to love them enough that you're able to have those uncomfortable conversations. And don't tank the relationship because you're afraid to speak up. Because trust me, whether they say it or not, they can sense the shift. They can tell when something is off. And then they come to you and they ask you, is everything okay? And you're like, yeah, everything's fine. Is everything okay with you? Everything is good with me. Is everything okay with you? Because I'm fine. And now you got an attitude because they can tell that you got an attitude. They can tell that you're lying. And now you're even more upset because they can sense it. Because you're trying to keep the peace. You don't want to upset them. Maybe you're unsatisfied with something that they're doing or not doing. And maybe you do feel like they already do a lot. And so you don't want them to feel like you're ungrateful or you don't appreciate what they already do. So you don't want to say anything. And I get that. Because I do want to take this moment to go ahead and say, the ladies, if you got a good man in your house that does right by you, that breaks his back for you, that's willing to give you his last, show that man some appreciation. Because I don't know if you remember what it was like to be on the other side of that fence, but I'm here to tell you that it is not a good time. So say thank you. Give him a little, some little extra love sometimes. Shout him out sometimes. And it doesn't have to be when he does it in that moment. Sometimes you just sit there and you think about all the amazing things that your man has done for you and all the ways he showed up for you. Sometimes just giving him, you're like, you know what, babe? You really rocked out with that. You really did good. Like, I really love how you did that. Or even something he may have not done directly for you, but maybe he did for the family, or maybe he did for himself. Shout him out for working on himself. I'm telling y'all, this is coming from a single woman. I'm trying to keep you from being on this side of the fence because I'm trying to get on the other side of the fence. And I don't want us to be crossing each other when I get on the other side of the fence. So show your man some appreciation. Stop acting like he's obligated to do each and everything because he's not your dad. Your dad played your dad because he was your dad. I'm pretty sure there's probably some treatments that you got that your mom didn't get because he wasn't your mom's dad. Okay? Those are two separate roles. So stop feeling like, oh, well, he should be doing that. Your parents were obligated to do that because you were their child. You were their responsibility. They were the reason why you were here. But this is not the case. So show that man some appreciation. Okay. That's the end of that break. So now let's get back into it. Be honest with your partner. Be honest with your family. This can be practiced in all of your relationships. Be honest with your family. Be honest with your friends. Do not sit in misery because you feel like you're protecting someone. Sometimes people can tell that something's wrong. They're just waiting for you to come and say something. They're just waiting. So take the opportunity. Don't lie to yourself. Don't tell yourself that you're okay. Don't tell yourself that you're going to be okay. Don't tell yourself that you can handle this. Because we're not here to build endurance for unsatisfactory behavior. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going after what we want. We're naming it and we're going after it. And the only way you can do that is you have to be willing to express yourself. You have to be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations. Now let's roll into the next part. The next reason why we tend to lie to ourselves is to protect ourselves. To protect ourselves. I don't want to have to go back to work. I don't want to have to go out here and start back paying bills. I enjoy my lifestyle. I don't want to give that up. I'm happy. Things are great. We haven't had sex in a year and a half, but I'm good. Hey, I don't need that. I'm fine. You're fine? You're good? Really? Sometimes we're in denial because we don't want to move. We lie to ourselves because we don't want to make a move. Right? You still at that job because you feel like your 401k gonna set you free. It's worth all the headache. It's worth all the stress. You don't feel appreciated. You can't remember the last time you got a raise, a real raise that was actually worth having. You're overworked and underpaid, but you're comfortable. That's how we become our biggest enemy. We get comfortable in the most dangerous spaces. And it's because we build endurance for it. A lot of us have had a lot of shitty jobs, but we did it to pay the bills. We did it because we had to. So then you end up getting a shitty job that pays pretty well. By the time you get to that point, you've built up so much endurance for dealing with shitty bosses, shitty coworkers, shitty work environments that it's like, well, at least I get paid to deal with the shitty behavior, right? But that's wrong because a lot of people don't realize if you work a regular 9 to 5 job, you probably spend more time at work than you do with your family. I don't think a lot of people think about that. So when we're talking about being in unhealthy work environments, it's not worth the money. No amount of money is worth me being stressed out, sad, depressed for $1. And that's literally what it is. Because you see, if you actually be honest with yourself and admit that you're unhappy and actually try to search for something that's more suitable for you, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. There have been people who have gotten jobs and gotten raises and got bumped up and made the most money that they've ever made within 6 months to a year. You won't know until you take a chance. But you stay in these situations because you're lying to yourself. You're telling yourself, you should appreciate this. I should be happy to be here. I'm tired. Now, that may not be a lie. You probably are tired, but you're tired because you're there. You're tired because you're there. It's not because you're tired of moving around. Moving from one job to another, it can be a bit of a hassle. But what's weighing you down is the job. What's weighing you down is the relationship. What's weighing you down is that connection. If you're feeling weighed down, you need to do an inventory of what you are connected to, what and who you are connected to, because that energy that's weighing you down is coming from somewhere. Every energy has a source, and you have to find the source. But you're never going to find the source if you keep lying to yourself, if you keep ignoring the signs, if you keep telling yourself that you're okay, if you keep telling yourself, oh, it's not that bad. I'm happy. It's just some bad days. It's not always bad. Some days are better than others. That may be true. But the real question is, it's not about, is this a good job? Is the pay good enough? Is the relationship good enough? Is this person good enough? The real question is, do you want to be here? A lot of people don't like to ask themselves that question. That's why when you hear people ask couples, what do you like about the person? That's one of the simplest yet hardest questions to ask people in relationships, because they don't quite understand the question. And because you haven't given yourself the time nor the space to really assess it. You're so busy going through the motions and looking at what they do for you, or the aesthetic of the relationship, what you're getting out of the relationship. You haven't even taken the time to tell if you really like the person. Do I really like you as a person? What do you like about this person? Not what do you like about the situation, not what do you like about the date, not what do you like about the money he spends, the kind of gifts he buys, how he dress. What do you like about him as a person? Honestly. And a lot of us ignore that question because we're afraid that if we really take the time to get to know that person, we may have to walk away from the 6-figure income and the good smelling 6 feet tall man, because if we dig deep enough, we may actually see that he's really a piece of shit and he's not even worth a good time. But you will put yourself through that, possibly have a baby. You may even marry him. You waste a few years. Who knows? All because you weren't willing to be honest with yourself from the beginning. You weren't willing to do the work and really see this person for who they really are. And it's because you're trying to protect yourself, and not in protecting yourself from danger. You're trying to protect yourself in a sense to where you want to make sure you get what you want. You want to make sure you get what you want, which is going to lead me into my last point. The last reason people lie to themselves is to protect an image. We know a lot about that, especially when it comes to family. How many of y'all have ever heard what happens in this house stays in this house? People being abused in the house. But you have to go out and pretend like everything's okay at home because you can't say nothing. You have to lie to yourself and pretend like you're not being mistreated at home for the sake of helping your family keep up an image that everything is fine. You like to walk around and pretend like your man hasn't cheated on you since this relationship started, so that when you post on Instagram, you can keep up that image. Because y'all are a famous social media couple. Y'all do skits together. Y'all post videos together. Y'all go on vacations together. And everything is great until it's not. So when we turn this camera on, we're going to pretend like we are the most loving couple. And that happens a lot, especially with social media being the way that it is, because a lot of couples have started to make money and monetize their relationships. So they're really, really willing to put all of that on hold and really lie to themselves and pretend like they are truly happy in this situation. Because now not only is it my relationship, it's my income. This relationship has become my income. I have to pretend like I'm happy. Are the people going to support me if I say that we're not this loving couple? Are the people going to support me if I say that before we hit record, he just called me a bitch and I just cursed him out and we almost started shoving each other? Are people going to support us if we're really, really honest about the status of our relationship? Are the people going to support us if I tell you that we haven't slept in the same bed together in the last 6 months? Are people going to support us if reality doesn't match the image. What happens when people know the truth? People can't know the truth. So I'll sit here and I'll play nice and I'll pretend like everything is cool. Everything is fine. For the sake of image. A lot of us could have avoided a lot of pain if we would just be honest with ourselves. After you finish this episode, I want you to go and stand in the mirror. Make sure all the lights are on. Stand in the mirror, and before you say or think a thing, just stand there and look at yourself. Look at yourself in the eyes. Assess yourself. Who are you looking at? When you look in the mirror, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? Don't say a word. Just look at yourself and process what you're seeing. Are you a woman that you respect? Are you a woman that feels loved? Are you a woman that feels accepted by you? Are you a woman that you're ashamed of? Do you feel like a woman? Do you feel like you're just a little girl playing a grown woman's role? Do you feel like you know what you're doing? Or are you just throwing darts at the wall hoping that something sticks? Who are you? What do you really want? What do you really like? What do you really need? Do you know who you are today? Not who you were 5 years ago, not who people told you that you were, not who people said that you should be, not what society thinks you are, who society thinks you are. When you look in the mirror and those two eyes are staring back, if you have on glasses for. But when you look in the mirror, who is it that you see? What are the things that you actually do love about you? What are the things you feel like you need to change about you? Those are the things that you should focus on, because all of that outside noise will have you living in a bubble of delusion. And we want to be in reality, because you can only make real change when you live in reality. The one thing that I hope that you get from this episode, I pray that once this is over, you actually have an opportunity to see yourself. I want to thank y'all so much for sitting through this episode. It has been a pleasure talking with you guys today. If you have anything that you want to talk about in the future, please make sure you drop it down. And if you don't already follow the page, make sure you subscribe right now, because girl, what are you waiting for? We're having great conversations over here. And I know you want the community. I know you want the support, and that's what I'm here for. So we can help and support each other. I will talk to y'all next week.